You wake up before the alarm even rings. Not because you're rested, because some part of you never fully went to sleep. It stayed on guard all night, scanning, bracing, waiting for the next thing to go wrong. And before your feet even touch the floor, you already feel it. That low, humming tension in your chest, the engine that never turns off. You tell yourself this is just life. This is what being an adult feels like. Everyone is tired. Everyone is stretched thin. So you pour the coffee, you answer the messages, you put on the face, and you go. But somewhere deep down, in a place you don't visit very often, there's a quieter voice. And that voice doesn't ask whether you're being productive. It asks something far more dangerous. It asks, is this living? Or is this just not dying slowly? I want you to sit with that question for a moment, because if it stung, even a little, then this video was made for you. Not for the version of you that performs being fine, for the real one, the one underneath. For years, you've been surviving, and you've gotten good at it. Frighteningly good. You can function on almost no rest. You can smile through exhaustion. You can carry weight that would crush other people and still show up the next day. The world calls this strength. It praises you for it. But here is the secret that Carl Jung understood better than almost anyone. The skills that help you survive are often the very same skills that prevent you from living. Because survival mode was never meant to be permanent. It was meant to be a bridge, a way to get from danger back to safety. But somewhere along the way, the bridge became the destination. You forgot you were supposed to cross it. You built a house on it, and now you live suspended over the void, mistaking constant tension for being alive. Today, we're going to talk about how to come down from that bridge, how to step off survival and into something you may have forgotten was even possible. We're going to walk through the collapse of the false self, the terrifying emptiness on the other side of it, and the strange, quiet rebirth that waits there. This won't be comfortable, but comfort was never what you were missing. What you were missing was yourself. Let's begin. For most of your life, you've been operating two distinct systems, even if no one ever told you they existed. The first system is the one designed to keep you alive. Jung would point us towards something ancient here, a part of the psyche older than thought, older than language, wired into the deepest layers of the brain. When this system activates, it has one job and one job only: get you through the threat. It floods you with cortisol and adrenaline. It narrows your vision. It shuts down anything that isn't immediately useful for surviving the next 5 minutes. And here is the cruel genius of it. This system does not distinguish between a predator in the grass and an email from your boss. It does not know the difference between physical danger and the slow, grinding threat of a life that feels unsafe. A childhood where love was conditional, a relationship where you walked on eggshells, a world that taught you that to relax is to be caught off guard. So if you grew up in chronic uncertainty, your nervous system did exactly what it was built to do. It turned the survival engine on. And then, it never received the signal that the danger had passed, so it never turned off. This is the anatomy of survival mode. It is not a personality flaw. It is not laziness or weakness or a lack of gratitude. It is a biological state that has overstayed its purpose. Your body is still fighting a war that ended years ago, and it cannot tell that the battlefield is now empty. Now let me give you an image to hold on to, because this is where it gets profound. Imagine a deep-sea fish, one of those creatures that lives miles below the surface, under immense, crushing pressure. Over generations, its entire body adapts to that pressure. Its bones, its organs, its skin. Everything is built to withstand a force that would destroy a surface animal instantly. The fish does not experience the pressure as suffering. It experiences it as normal. as the only reality there is. But here is the haunting part. If you take that fish and lift it toward the surface, toward the light, toward freedom, toward the open water it was supposedly always meant for, it doesn't flourish. It ruptures, because its entire architecture was built around the pressure. The pressure became its skeleton. Remove it too fast, and the creature falls apart. This is you. This is what no one tells you about escaping survival mode. The pressure you've been living under for so long has become structural. It is not just something happening to you. It has become the scaffolding of your identity. Your sense of who you are is built on the tension. Your discipline, your hypervigilance, your ability to anticipate everyone's needs, your inability to rest. These aren't just symptoms. They've become the load-bearing walls of your personality. And this is why so many people who finally get the safety they craved feel, paradoxically, lost, empty, even worse than before. Because Jung understood that what we call the persona, the polished, functional self we present to the world, is not the real you. It is the mask the survival system built to keep you acceptable, useful, and safe. And the longer you wear a mask, the more you forget there's a face underneath it. The persona becomes so convincing that you mistake it for your soul. So we arrive at the threshold, the place where survival mode begins to crack. And I want to be honest with you about what this looks like, because no one prepares you for it. For most people, the collapse doesn't come from a disaster. It comes from success. It comes from finally getting the thing you fought so hard for: the stability, the relationship, the achievement, the safety. And then, in the silence that follows, something horrifying happens. You feel nothing. Or worse, you feel a strange, creeping dread. You got everything you were supposed to want, and the emptiness didn't leave. It got louder. This is the moment Jung described as the dark night, though he would have us understand it not as an ending, but as a passage. The survival self has carried you as far as it can. It got you to safety. And now, having no more dragons to fight, it stands in the middle of your life with nothing to do, and it begins to panic. Because if there's no threat, then what is the point of vigilance? If there's no war, then who are you without the armor? There is a moment Jung pointed to, the pause between two breaths, the instant after you exhale and before you inhale again, where for one suspended second, nothing is happening. No striving, no defending, no becoming, just stillness. And for a person who has built their entire identity on motion and survival, that stillness is not peaceful. It is terrifying, because in that gap, the survival self cannot find itself. It looks for something to fight and finds only space. It looks for the threat and finds only quiet. And in that quiet, it begins to dissolve. This is the void. And I won't lie to you, it feels like dying. Many people, when they reach this point, turn back. They run to the next crisis. They manufacture drama. They pick a fight, start a new desperate goal, find a new emergency to manage, because the emergency is familiar and the emptiness is not. The void feels like a malfunction, so they sprint back to the pressure they know, back to the deep water, because at least down there, they know who they are. But here is what Jung wanted us to understand, and it is everything. The emptiness is not your enemy. The emptiness is not the absence of life. It is the presence of all the life you never lived. Every feeling you suppressed to survive. Every dream you abandoned because it wasn't safe. Every part of you that got locked away so the persona could function. They're all in there. The void is not empty at all. It is full. It is crowded with the unlived self, pressing against the door, finally getting its chance to emerge, now that the survival system has loosened its grip. The darkness, in other words, is not the death of you. It is the death of the mask, and those are very different things, even though, in the moment, they feel identical. So what do you actually do? How do you cross this without being destroyed by it? Because the deep-sea fish teaches us the answer is not to rush. You do not escape survival mode by force. You cannot white-knuckle your way into peace. That is just survival wearing a new costume. The way out is slower, stranger, and far more gentle than your old self will want to believe. The first law is this: you must teach your body that the war is over, and you must do it in a language deeper than words. You cannot think your way out of survival mode, because survival mode does not live in your thoughts. It lives in your body, in your breath, your shoulders, your gut, your jaw. So you begin small. You begin with the exhale, a long, slow exhale, longer than the inhale, is one of the only direct signals you can send to that ancient system that says, we are safe now. You are telling the deep-sea fish that the pressure is lifting, and you are doing it slowly enough that it doesn't rupture. You practice stillness not as a grand spiritual achievement, but as 5 minutes of sitting where you let the silence be there without needing to fix it. At first, your whole system will scream that something is wrong. Let it scream. Don't obey it. Just stay. The second law is to stop treating your symptoms as your enemy. The hypervigilance, the overfunctioning, the inability to rest, these were not character flaws. They were a child's brilliant solution to an impossible situation. Jung taught that nothing in the psyche heals through rejection. The parts of you that you fight will only dig in deeper. So instead of trying to kill your survival self, you thank it. You turn toward it and you say, "You kept me alive. You did your job, and now you can rest." This is integration, not amputation. You are not trying to destroy the part of you that learned to survive. You are trying to retire it with honor, so a new part of you can finally step forward. The third law is the hardest. You must learn to want things again, and to want them is to become vulnerable. Survival mode protects you by keeping your desires small, because a person who wants nothing cannot be devastated by loss. But a life lived purely in defense is a life with the volume turned down on everything, including joy. So you begin, cautiously, to let yourself feel a real desire, not a goal to achieve, a genuine longing. Something you want not because it makes you safe, but because it makes you alive. And you let yourself move one small step toward it, knowing it might not work, knowing you might be hurt, and choosing it anyway. Because that willingness to risk feeling is the very definition of being alive instead of merely surviving. Now let me show you what waits on the other side, because I don't want to leave you in the void. I want you to know it leads somewhere. The person who crosses this threshold does not become someone new. They become someone real. The mask comes off, not because they tore it away in rage, but because they no longer need it. And what emerges is not the fragile, exhausted survivor, but something Jung would call the integrated self, a person who has befriended their own darkness and is therefore no longer ruled by it. This person rests without guilt, because rest is no longer a threat to their survival. They can be still without panic, because the stillness no longer feels like danger. It feels like home. They feel their emotions fully, the painful ones and the beautiful ones, because they are no longer spending all their energy keeping the lid on. And strangest of all, they become quietly powerful. Not loud, not performative, but unshakable. Because a person who has walked through their own void and come out the other side cannot be threatened by much. They've already faced the thing they were most afraid of, the emptiness, and they discovered it wasn't death. It was a door. This is the soul that has come up slowly from the deep. It can finally live in the open water it was always meant for, not because it forced its way up, but because it gave itself the time to change. It no longer mistakes pressure for purpose. It no longer confuses tension with being alive. It simply lives, present, grounded, and free. And here, at the end, I want to leave you with something to carry. You were not put on this earth to merely survive it. The survival was always meant to be temporary, a season, not a sentence. And if you've been living on that bridge for years, suspended over the void, mistaking the tension for life itself, I want you to know that it is not too late to come down. The void you've been so afraid of is not waiting to destroy you. It's waiting to give you back everything you set aside in order to stay safe. The crossing is slow, it is uncomfortable. It asks you to trust a stillness that has always felt like danger. But on the other side of that stillness is a life that is actually yours. Not performed, not defended, not endured, but truly lived. So tonight, before you sleep, try just one exhale. One long, slow breath that tells the oldest part of you, the war is over. We made it. We can begin. If this reached something real in you, leave the word alive in the comments. Not for me, for yourself, as a small mark in time that says you're ready to stop surviving and finally start living.